Welcome to the Henry Art Gallery and James Turrell Skyspace Light Rain. Before working with James Turrell to construct Light Rain, the Henry had a long-standing relationship with the artist dating back to the early 90s, when my predecessor Richard Andrews curated a major retrospective of Turrell's work.
I first met James Turrell in 1981 when he came to Seattle to create the first exhibition for COCA, the Center on Contemporary Art. It was an extraordinary effort on the part of 60 volunteers, artists, and friends of the arts in Seattle to transform a dilapidated brick building in Pioneer Square into an extraordinary and pristine environment, a set of installations of James Turrell's Lightworks.
The genesis of his work came from early experiences with light in college, but I think one of the most formative influences comes from flying. And many of the kinds of experiences you can see, for example, being inside a cloud that's evenly illuminated with no sense of up and down, is the kind of light experience that he gives you in some of his installations. In 1992, I had the idea to welcome James back to Seattle, and then we created a retrospective at the Henry Art Gallery. About 10 years later, he came back to Seattle at our request to do his residency in conjunction with the PBS series Art 21. And at that time, we began talking about Knowing Light, another exhibition, one that would occur in 2003, and the idea of a permanent work, a Skyspace, to commemorate the museum's 75th anniversary.
A Skyspace, a work by James Turrell, is an architectural space lined with a bench for your seating, where you look up to the ceiling, and in the ceiling there's an aperture, or hole to the sky.
These are spaces, perceptual spaces, where you're asked to look at and concentrate on a slice of the sky.
James Turrell chose the sculpture court here at the very heart of the Henry Art Gallery for a new Skyspace. The sculpture court, however, is encircled by the frame of the museum.
And the nature of a Skyspace from which you look out through an opening means that there can be no buildings or treetops in your line of sight. The Skyspace in the courtyard, therefore, had to be raised up.
The other difficulty of creating this, fitting this in like a puzzle piece into the courtyard, was the necessity of putting a dome on the top of it for those days that it was rainy or snowing. And that dome has had to be very cleverly constructed, completely out of the field of view when it's open, but completely covering the aperture when it's raining.
Light Rain is fairly unique in that it really has three attributes. It has the Skyspace attribute, the interior space where you sit down and view the sky. It also has the dome that rolls into place. And there is a blue, dark blue lighting on the surface that only becomes visible when the dome is in place. And with that lighting, that dome appears to be an infinite, evenly illuminated light blue sky-like space. And finally, there's a kind of public art element, and that is the perimeter of the entire Skyspace is covered with frosted glass, behind which are LED lights that James programmed in this slowly shifting movement of color, much like a sunrise or sunset.
Light Rain is a permanent piece at the Henry that's always available to visitors. It's easy to spot day or night. Come visit this lasting legacy of the Henry's commitment to contemporary art, artists, and ideas.